this is Tony Aguilar, and I figure I would do a video based on what I picked up at Hurricon 2022 in Kissimmee this last weekend. It is one of two of HMGS South's conventions, Recon being the third week in April, and Hurricon is normally the third weekend in September. Just came back from that, and I unexpectedly picked up a lot of stuff. That's actually probably an extreme understatement. I normally don't pick up a lot of things because I have enough to work on, but I figured this is definitely worthy of making a video for multiple reasons. So this might be a little long-winded. Hopefully you guys enjoy this, and hopefully you get to see some unique things here. Anyhow, I'll go ahead and get started and show you guys what I picked up. And I'm going to go ahead and get started first of all with the first thing that Mitch and I were excited to play is these set of rules called Blood and Steel by Firelock Games. And we played in the demo of them, and the authors of it, Edgar and Damien, both ran a game, and Mitch and I played two of them. They were Franco-Prussian war battles, and it was a really cool game, and yeah, we really enjoyed it. And I'd say I'd picked up these rules, but honestly, it was almost like they were picked up for me. Alex, who runs Firelock's games, gifted me these rules, so I greatly appreciate them. We had a lot of fun with them, and they are really they really have some cool mechanisms as far as how they handle the game within the game of managing your dice and so forth. They have their videos on YouTube as well. If you look up Blood and Steel, they're going to do a much better job of explaining the game than I will. I don't have any figures of this period yet, but to be continued. Anyhow, really pretty cool that and much appreciated. But that's where we're going to start off the stash with. Okay, the next thing is, and this is really in no particular order. This isn't necessarily the order that I got them in. I'm just going to kind of do the build-up. Miniature Building Authority was there, and normally they do a lot of items that are in 28 millimeter, which I don't do 28 millimeter, but they had some cast items that work really well for 20s, and I'll show you some of these things. This one happened to be $5. The rest of these in here were $1 each, so you can tell me if you think that that's a good value or not. And I got some 20 mil guys here, because if you guys know, that's what I've been itching to paint recently. So here is a US BAR gunner, and we've got some ammo fuel drums, which remind me, as soon as I saw this, I thought of the old movie Battle of the Bulge, where they roll those things down the hill and blow up the M47 / King Tiger tanks. So we've got that. I decided to get a pet rock. We've got some other drums here with some crates, more drums. I guess you have to do this on the Western Front, because if you're doing Germans and Russians, the Germans can't run on diesel, so it doesn't do any good to capture unless they come with Russian tanks. Here's another one, and these are just scenic effects. Look, logs. I guess I could cut all these little pieces out, but hey, it's already done for you, and it's on a base. More drums. Oh, did I buy two of the same thing? I did. Oh, damn it. I'm going to have to move them differently, so it's not so noticeable. Little piece of a wall, some tires, more tires, just stuff that you could make on the battlefield. Look, you put this in like a factory or something like that. It's a cog. It's like a cog from a factory in something in Stalingrad. Oh, we're leaving that one for last. Got another one that's half tarped. I can almost envision this, like, you know, being like, this almost looks like something that's like blown by like snow. So it looks like snowy or something like that, like it's in part of a drift or something. Here's a wattle wall with some posts. That's pretty cool. And some crates there. I'm not sure what the heck this is, but this can be part of a... It's just some scatter terrain they can put on the field. And then I saw this. And remember I said that they're mostly 28 millimeter, but they actually had some things that would work for 15s. Most of these are really appropriate for like 20s. And I saw this, and this is totally 20 millimeter. This is like the turret of a T-26S. Okay, all you World War II nuts. Oh, I forgot to mention that. If you're a World War II tank nut, get ready. Because this is just the beginning. This is a T-26S is what it looks like. The turret that's been thrown clear of the vehicle. And there's some poor guy down here. I don't know whether he's Soviet or something like that. Look, he's almost exactly the right size. So that's really pretty neat. Yeah, so that's from Miniature Building Authority. And, you know, again, I think I don't usually buy things because at conventions because I have a lot of things to work on. And also, if I feel like I can get it anywhere, what's the hurry in getting it? So all these things you're about to see are things that I would say are not available in stores. And that was the reason why I picked them up. Now, the bad news is that I picked these things up because it was 2 estate sales happened at the show. So there's 2 wargamers that their collections were being sold. And one of them is Harold Mudry, and he's a longtime HMGS South gamer. I've seen him around. I've never got a chance to play a game with him. But he's an older gentleman, and I think he's been at every show for the last 10 or 15 years that I've attended. So he's no longer with us. But these items are ones that his benefactors, I think I asked the gentleman if it was his son, and he said no, he was just one of his friends trying to sell his collection. And these are the items that I picked up from Harold Mudry's collection. And I did ask him if he minded if I used his name, and he said, yeah, I would be welcome to. So these are the things that I picked up from his collection. We're going to try to do this in some kind of an orderly method. And this is all these items you're going to see are all 1/72nd or 1/76th or close enough for government work pieces. So he had some die-cast things here. This is an SU-100. And it is all in Russian. So I am not sure if this is a little too large, because this is the same hull as a T-34. And we'll check that later, because I don't have a T-34 in 1/72nd scale handy. But I got one of those and another one. Okay. And a late war vehicle for late war stuff. Okay, got 2 of those. Got a Stug, which I did some identification on it. It is a Stug 3E, and we're going to, you know, use this in wargaming. My plan is to, I'm not going to go crazy. You're going to see a lot of stuff, and I'm going to take my time and you know, not start jumping and doing everything at once. So this will be a long process. I'll move it over here, although we may not have room for everything. This is a pre-made model of an Opel Blitz truck. I mean, it's got even the rear view mirror and everything. I'm not sure who makes it. If I know who makes it, I will let you guys know in case you're interested. I'm not sure. It could be one of those Dragon ones that are made, pre-made. It kind of looks like that. We have an Opel Blitz ambulance. Again, it looks like probably the same maker. We have a, I think it's a Horch, some kind of a Horch staff car. It looks like it was in one of those transparent cases, because you can see where this would, like, maybe a screw would attach in there to keep it in there from flopping around. We have a mortar carrier on a half track and two of them. And these have got to be 1/72nd scale or 1/76. I do not have a US half track handy, the ones that I scaled out, but these are really, really nice. And I don't know about these guys that much. I don't know if it's an M2 half track or what the designation is, but it has the 81mm mortar. There's a 50 back there. It's really nicely detailed. Got shovels and everything picked out. Okay. We have an Opel Maltier truck. So these, I believe, are more common on the Eastern Front, where the mud season came in and just created all kinds of problems for these folks. So, Opel Maltier. And there is a second Opel Maltier. So we have two of those. All right. We have everybody's favorite armored car. Maybe not everybody, but a very popular armored car. A Puma. Also a pre-done kit. And the owner, Harold, wrote down the names of what some of these items were. I went through a lot of stuff, and let's just say it's good to be, if you go through one of these, it's good to know what you're looking at, because a lot of things needed some identification. But I was into World War II well before Ancients, so I'm actually a World War II guy, and I actually said that a lot this weekend. But this is a Puma armored car. We have a Sherman M4A1 76. This is two of them. And I think these are, they don't say who they are. Maybe they're Dragon Hobby. They're nice, you know. Then we have a Panzer IV. Looks like a G. I think this is the Airfix kit. I don't have an Airfix kit, but I think it's an Airfix kit. So it might be a little on the smaller side. But just to give you an example, I have a Panzer IV that I know is 1/72nd scale. Okay, that's this one right here. So it's like 1/76 scale. I interchange them together with no problem. I can sleep at night, you know. So it doesn't bother me any. Panzer IV F2? No, G. Yeah, it's a G. It's got the gun on the end of that. Then we have a Panzer IV H. And I think this is a kit. Oh, it's called, this is a G. I guess it is a G. It's got a split, hatch. Interesting. Now I have a G with the Schertzen on it, which I didn't have one. Okay, cool. I got a G, but it doesn't have Schertzen. We have I believe this is the Airfix Panther kit, because you can't have too many Panthers, and this is 1/76 scale. Okay. You got space for them up here? All right. I believe this is the Matchbox kit of the Firefly, and the reason why I think it's that is there's different color plastics. Matchbox is kind of well known for doing that, and 1/76 scale. Pretty sure. I have no problem mixing all that kind of stuff up. It would probably bother somebody else, but it doesn't bother me. One of the coolest looking armored cars, I think, this I believe is a Humber with a heavy machine gun in it. I believe that's a Beza. I could be wrong, but it doesn't look like a 2-pounder. So it's the heavy machine gun. And pretty cool. It even has an open hatch. I got lots of British crew members who are just waiting to get painted to be in there. We have the Airfix Opel Blitz, which I have 2 of those already. And I know it's 76 scale, so Yeah, these must be 72nd. Okay. We have a pre-built 251 SDKFZ 251D half track, which is, you know, because of the slope back. That was a shortcut that they did to produce these quicker. And I got one and another one, and something happened here. The side of it fell off. Well, it's not like I can't fix it. Yeah, in transport. Well, something to fix already. That's the second one. And a third one. So 3 SDKFZ 251s. Geez, that means I got like 10 of them already now. Like I said, I'm not just going to sit there and redo them all at once. We're going to do one at a time. So, this was really interesting that I saw this. I think this is an MMS kit, because I have my MMS kit and it looks exactly the same. And this is a Panzer IIIF, so now we got 2 of them. And I found a unit that used them in Barbarossa, that used 37mm tanks that are Mark IIIs. So we're probably going to be using it for that. We have, I didn't know what scale this was. This looks like a Roco mini tanks. It looks like a Sherman with a 105. If it's 187th, I don't know. It's still close enough. It's late war. It's got the HVSS transmission, running gear. Not transmission, running gear. I'm famous for saying one thing and meaning something else. Oh, well. At least I know what my limitations are. We have a U.S. truck, which, oh, it's a Hasegawa. There you go. It says Hasegawa on it. We'll have to glue her back together. But I don't have any U.S. trucks. Well, there you go, one of them. We have a pre-made, I'm pretty sure this is Dragon, it's not going to say it on here, a flak half track with a quad 20s, all in Panzer Gray. And it has the leaping horse symbol of the 24th Panzer Division, which went to Stalingrad. And there was actually a Roco one of these I was planning on using, and it's 187th. And I figured, well, this would be good for scenarios. Look at the size difference. It's like massive, massive size difference. But, you know, with that said, I have no problem using something like this in a scenario where you have to, you know, maybe silence it or something like that. It's creating a lot of noise, and the GIs want to sleep, so I have to go take it out. All right. We have something really unusual, not because what it is, but how it comes about. It's a Panzer I, and it's looks like it's pre-painted like this, and it even has an on and off switch. I don't know if it must be RC because it's got 19 megahertz, the 49 megahertz on here. Must have some kind of an engine, but it's really nicely painted. It's got an antenna that's literally metal, and if it's not 1/72nd, then it's probably, well, I have a 1/76 scale Cromwell one. Yeah, it's bigger. It's a big, big one. So it might be like 1/68 scale or something like that. But regardless, very, very nice. And this is Tiger 222, which I believe is the one that's in Bovington that got captured in North Africa. Anyhow, that particular vehicle just happens to be a famous vehicle. And last but not least, I have a bunch of Mark IVs for like the 42 campaign. So I've got some F2s and an F1 and something like that. And I figured, well, I could use a Panzer III-J. Okay, it's not an M. Oh, I'm sorry, they're L's. I'm sorry, they're L's. Which is just a more up armored J. They don't have the special thing on the back for for going underwater. This thing. Okay, this is the thing from the, you could see what the difference is. And it's definitely 1/72nd scale. This is the Eschi kit. And this is an L, so this is the predecessor of the M. Okay, so we got one of those. Put this thing back. I'm glad I had these other tanks out here for comparison. One, and I got a second one, and a third one, and a fourth one, and a fifth one. 5 Panzer III Ls. Okay, so let me clear this area. I'll pause the video, and that's these are the items from Harold's estate, and unfortunately he's not with us, but we'll try to put these to good use. And I was yeah, it was kind of humbling, like I said, to pick these things up from people that are no longer with us, but hopefully we will put these to good use. All right, be right back in a second. Okay, and just like that, we're back. All right, so the second part, one thing I should have introduced earlier is I actually found something that Stan Johansson was selling, and I actually own one of these. I'm not sure who the maker of it is. I thought mine was BP cast, and I haven't finished it, but it's basically a little trench network that you can put your little guys in, and I think a couple figures actually physically fit in there. And it's like a firing pit. And, you know, I've got a couple scenarios on the Russian front where they use that kind of a thing. So that's where it's going to be. I guess it could work for the Pacific as well. But I couldn't pass this up finding a second one because it's something that's very hard to get a hold of it. But that's what I plan on doing, is use them for a couple of pits, mainly on the Russian front, and have guys fight from there. I said there was 2 estate sales. This is the second estate sale. This is another gamer that I did not game with. I did not know this person, but his brothers were there trying to pass on his stuff. And his name is Robert Davila, and his brothers were there, and he had a lot of tanks. And not only did he have a lot of tanks, this is the part of the show that I'm going to call Tankograd. And there was a lot of tanks in 20 millimeter scale, or 20 millimeter is not really a scale, but it's one that's not really popular in the United States for the most part. But it's one of the ones I grew up wargaming with. And he had these models from Hinchcliffe, which are out of production. I did a little bit of research, and they are oh, here it is. It says it back here. Skytrex. I knew about Skytrex, and they're Skytrex. They're all metal. Every little bit of them is metal. And this happens to be a T-34, and this is the 1940 version of T-34. Okay, and it has actually an earlier gun that has the recuperator on the top. That's what makes it distinct. And it's actually a pretty sleek looking tank. And I picked up one of those. And the later version it turned into was this T-34. That also had the newer gun. It comes with spare parts in here. Again, all white metal, some fuel tanks, some logs to add on there. And it has the one-piece hatch where you had to like peer around the corner. So this is the 194A, is the 1941 model T-34. And there was also a 194B, which is the hexagonal turret, which the Germans called the Mickey Mouse turret, because when it opened, it looked like it had 2 ears popped out, okay, because they faced forward. And I picked up this one as well. But the problem is there was a lot of tanks. A lot of tanks there. And just to kind of give you an idea, this is the 1940, the 1941, and this is like what you would use an invasion in like 1941 of Barbarossa. This one was like some towards the later part of the invasion and through 1942. And this is like the Kursk T-34. So this was before they went to a cupola mount. It's a hexagonal turret. Okay, that's basically the three main models of the T-34. Well, there's other ones, but that's kind of broken down by year. Early, mid, and then later, and then before they went to the T-34-85. And I've got some of them that have the cupola, which come in afterwards. And I'm a big Kursk fan, so these are the ones that they used then. But there was another early one that I picked up. There was another earlier one that I picked up. There was a mid one, or a mid one here. Another mid one. Another earlier one. A 1943 model. I think it's actually called the 1942 model. Here's another early one. It even comes with a little tank guy. Little tank commander. Well, the thing about these is if it's a tank commander is popping his head out, he can't fire the gun. Because he is the tank commander and he is the gunner. The loader is a separate guy, and there's two guys. There's their driver and the assistant machine gunner. I don't know why they didn't bring the assistant machine gunner to also double as being the gunner, and then you could have the commander be a commander and do that primarily, but then you'd need a three-man turret, which didn't appear until the T-34-85. Another early one. The 1941 model, 1942 model, 1941 model, 1941 model, 1941 model, 1942 model, 1942 model, 1942 model, early model, 1940. And then they had in here also another company called SHQ Miniatures. And these are definitely 176 scale. I don't know if these actually were 172nd or actually they're both 176th. Oh, how about read the label? And I use them both interchangeably. This one is the 1942 model that came with two turrets. So what's the difference of the turrets? Well, this one you can see is SHQ's rendition of this hexagonal turret. It's the same turret. However, it comes with an extra Chelyabinsk turret. And this is kind of like a soft edge one that was pronounced by, that was made over near the Urals. It's one of the factories that got moved out early in 1941, as I understand. Went out to the Urals and started cranking out a bunch of tanks. So we got one of those. And there was an assortment of other stuff which I pieced together to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more tanks of mostly, look, here's one of the hexagonal turrets. Yeah. But I had to find the hatches and stuff like that. So we did some digging around. Let's just say I spent a lot of time at that booth looking for this stuff. So I got all the Russian tanks I probably could ever need. And then they found another box after I had left. And what was in this box? A T-34-85, which is the 85 millimeter tank in the 3-man turret. Another one of these with the Chelyabinsk turret. Another T-34-85. Another T-34-85. And another T-34-85. But that's not it. Because in this one box that I was trying to make everything, the pieces, they went ahead and I got all the extra pieces as well. So there's extra T-34-85 turrets, as you can see how they fit on here. I don't know exactly if they go on that one or they go on this one. It goes on this one. And I don't know if there's going to be hatches for them or anything. Some of them have the barrels that are broken. Some of these are snapped. Not a big deal. Epoxy is my friend. We can fix them. But anyways, let's just say I'm never going to have to buy any more T-34 chassis tanks. And anyhow, so that's what I call this Tankograd, which is what they ended up calling the Russian factory that started cranking out all those tanks after the German invasion. So anyhow, yeah, I got a lot of stuff, but this stuff, you can't go to a store and get this, and they were wanting to pass it on, and well, let's just say I've got a lot of Russian tanks. Anyhow, yeah. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm famous for going to conventions and never getting anything. I have really good self-restraint, and I pretty much threw that threw the caution to the wind this time. So anyhow, hopefully you will watch the painting sessions and you'll see some of this stuff that'll get painted. But we got lots of stuff ahead of us, lots of painting, lots of tanks, lots of World War II talking. So if you guys are World War II fans, get ready. But anyways, thanks for hanging with me, and we will catch you guys next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. There'll be more videos coming up, and we'll be working on World War II now for probably the rest of the year. So this is what we're going to be doing for a little while. So anyhow, catch you guys next time. See ya.